Okay, in the car with my beau. Normal spot for us, apparently, for me to start recording for the day. We did a bunch of chores this morning. We, meaning I did a bunch of chores, Cho did a bunch of chores, Bagoo did a bunch of chores. I did my normal tread and stuff. I think doing chores starts the day well, because then it's like you already started your day with productivity. And I know I said there, I'm trying to get a push away from just being, seeing yourself as purely based on like what you can offer the world instrumentally. I do think that there is value in productivity, clearly. So yeah, we did that. I had a bunch of things to say that were residual thoughts after I washed my face from last night and from my walk outside, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I just wanted to start this with saying that I was productive this morning along with my beau. Right now we're gonna go thrifting for a sweatshirt so Cho can, what is it called? Bleach. What is it?
Bleach painting.
Bleach. She wants to do bleach painting. So yeah, I was pushing her to find some sort of hobby that she can just enjoy, not for the sake of a resume, not for, for colleges or what have you, but just like for herself, like in a fulfillment kind of sense. And that's what she decided on. It's like an artistic lens, but it's something she can wear because she likes clothes. It's good for the environment because it's thrifted, and it's good for the pocketbook. Oh, that reminds me. Can you grab my wallet? It's in my backpack. I can't. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Thank you, my Poe. Thank you, Poe. What a kind soul. What a kind child. Just kidding. So yeah, there's that. I wanted to say something about the fireflies that I noticed last night. But I will say that later. But I really wanted to say this. The thing that I heard about the birds that I was talking about in yesterday's episode, it was a wren. So it's a wren that I like awoke last night, literally in the middle of the night because of this, which is weird. But it was a wren. A wren teaches their young a special tune, and it's to protect against parasitic animals like the cuckoo bird. Thank you, my Poe. Thank you for getting that. Thank you.
Every time that I leave the car, I feel like that one sentence in the Lorax where it's like, I don't want to prep my dentures. And it's like, you have been warned.
Yes, I love Lorax references, and I can quote the whole beginning scene. Well, most of the movie actually, but anyways, so yeah, it was the cuckoo bird that's parasitic that drops off their children in the nest, and the wren protects against this by teaching their children, their young, a special song for them to sing back. And then if the cuckoo bird babies can't repeat it, then they kick them out. But also, unfortunately, sometimes they kick out their own kids by accident, and that's just the brute nature of nature. Yeah, that's all for now. Thank you for listening to my bird discussion. You missed yesterday's episode, so you don't even know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I can tell. So we have a new subscriber, so welcome. I don't know who you are because I can't see the subscribers, but thank you for being here. Welcome, and I appreciate your presence. That's all for now. Okay, so Poe and I, hold on. Okay, Poe and I just went to a, what is it? A thrift store. Good, I don't want to say names on here, not free advertising. So I got a t-shirt that I'm going to bleach. It's a Dolphins t-shirt, and Cho got some clothes too.
Yeah.
That she's gonna bleach with lines, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll check in when we do that, but that's all for now. That was fun. I actually have never done that in my life before. Oh, she smiled because she saw a baby. But it was a good experience for us. So
fun.
Yeah. Okay, that's all for now. Hold on. One more thing. We're now going to a toy store to what is it? Role play, cosplay, choose your word. Actually, I'll choose cosplay. We're gonna cosplay shopping for either a baby shower or a 4-year-old. I think 4-year-old. Cho thinks baby shower. I just love going to this specific toy store because I love looking at the toys. But yeah, so we're gonna decide then. And the rule is whoever, we're gonna ask like a worker, like, do you think we should get this or whatever? And whoever the worker's like, oh, what's the kid's name? They get to make up the name. So today we're doing,
it's a 4-year-old boy.
Oh, that's right.
We did
4-year-old boy is what we decided, but we're not allowed to choose the name, and we're just gonna do that for fun. So add some whimsy in your life, you know. That word is kind of overused right now on TikTok. It's like whimsical birthday, but like it actually is whimsy. So don't say it unless you're doing it, and we are doing it.
And
so,
we are doing it. We always do it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. That's all for now. I'm making a potato soup for dinner, by the way, if anyone cares, which hopefully someone does. Okay, so we're going in the store. Not every day has to be like one of intense philosophical thought, even though it is always a part of our life. So I just wanted to say, what did I want to say before we go in the toy store? I just wanted to check in. Basically, I just wanted to repeat that we're going in the toy store because I'm excited. And yeah, not everything in life has to be so serious, I guess. Why so serious? Okay, that's all for now. Okay, we're in the toy store. They're playing Sneaker Night by Vanessa Hudgens. Like, what is this? This is like destiny that we're in here. Also, our fake child, his name is Lincoln because, well, I came up with it, and I think it sounds like a millennial baby name. So, oh my gosh, I freaking love Rainbow Boom. Sneakers on. Sneakers on. Okay, that's all for now. These are, so the Pocket Genius books I used to like, I know the stickers are so cool. I used to carry those around, and then I also liked like where it's like fourth grader facts and like carry those. And then also this one, Homegrown Grossology, Icky Things in Your Everyday Life. I would have wanted that. Oh,
I would have wanted it.
Stickers. Everybody loves stickers.
The Pixie one specifically.
For sticker rainbows, I would have wanted those. Sparkly. Okay, we're going to keep looking, but anyways, that's all for now.
Mermaid!
So, a few things. I'm on a walk with my Poe, like I said I was about to do, and I feel so irritable because I actually have a lot of, like, residual thoughts that I haven't unpacked from last night that I wanted to talk about. For example, the fairy thing I mentioned about in the firefly thing. And I'm trying to remind myself that if I'm on a walk with my Poe, then I will have, like, it's kind of like the slow down thing. Like, you don't have to do everything right now just because I'm thinking of it. Like, you need to have some patience with yourself, but also respect for who you're with. And I'm kind of being hypocritical right now because I'm, talking to my phone as I'm with Poe, but I just wanted to say that to hold myself accountable and also to remind others to have patience for you, for me, for everybody. Anything? Do you like that sentiment? She does, because that means I'll put up my phone when I'm with her and be more present, as the general theme is in these videos, because it seems like that's kind of my mantra as of right now. Okay, that's all for now. I didn't know if it was worth sharing, because I know I say I try to make videos that are worth sharing, but just one thing. I noticed a tree, and I was like, wait, what's that from? And then we have achieved realization that it's from Jake and the Neverland Pirates and his, like, hideout thing. That's what it's similar to, like the tree that he, like, jumps through in the tube. And I wanted to bring that up because I guess today kind of has this, like, nostalgia, childhood kind of theme. So it fits with our Toy Story thing. Toy Store. I don't like Toy Story. Which I guess might be surprising to you guys because I said how much of a Pixar appreciator I am, not a fan, appreciator. So yeah, I don't know if anyone watched that show. I watched it. What's it called? I'm like a secondhand watcher of a lot of these shows because I would watch them because Lily and Sophia had them on when they were younger. And of course I'm going to sit down, for a good episode of Sophia the First and Bailiwick and Clover. Like, I love that show. But But yeah, I was a first-hand watcher of PBS Kids, second-hand watcher of Disney Junior. I didn't watch that primarily when I was their age. And I feel like you can kind of tell that about my personality in shows. But
You watched kid shows a little too long.
I did not watch them too long, and I watched them, I think, no, they're, okay, so now I have to say this, but I actually think that content for children, specifically books, but also PBS Kids, is actually extremely difficult to create and very complex because, so I talked about this in my senior thesis, probably actually, no, I didn't. I think my advisor told me to take it out, and I usually just do what I want anyways, but I think I did take it out because it was distracting. And he was right. I was also trying to focus on a point in like that arrow that I was talking about, where it's better to do, one thing really well instead of a bunch of little things not great. It needs an adverb, not super. I'll just do well again. But anyways, all I'm saying is that what is with my phrasing today? What I would like to say is that children's books, such as like The Giving Tree, actually have super complex moral messages. And I found that shows like Arthur and Martha Speaks, and what's the other one that I loved? Word Girl, Cyber Chase, things like that, they convey themes in ways that are interesting for children, but interesting and palatable for children, but complex enough to also be like something of like sustenance for their minds. And I think that that's a super difficult balance to achieve, and it's impressive when it's achieved. And the shows really do a great job of facilitating the learning process. Anyways, that's what I would like to say about children's shows. I have way more to say about children's content, but I'm going to stop right now because, again, I'm trying to enjoy my walk with my pup. Okay, that's all for now. Oh, and I'm making potato soup when I get back. Is there something funny about that? It's for your dinner. I know, I just wanted to say what I'm doing because, I don't know, I just like to say that. Okay, bye-bye for now. Okay, I'm not holding myself accountable well but I really do have to say this. I think a lot, I was just thinking back over the thoughts that I just have recorded, and I think I have the best thoughts when I'm alone, but I have thoughts that are spurred by others, which are different than the typical thoughts that I would have when I'm with people like Cho or at the boutique. So that's an interesting thing. It's like, how do you strike a balance between more developed, better articulated thoughts with yourself that are maybe less productive in a sense because they're kind of along the same path of the normal thoughts that I have, versus like thoughts that are more revolutionary for me, but less that are not as articulated than when I'm by myself. Like, for example, right now, like I have different thoughts than I would typically have based on our conversation, but I'm not saying them well, and it's frustrating me, but I think they're still worth sharing because they're different than what I would normally think. So I don't know, that's a hard balance, and I wanted to put that out there because it kind of also introduces the idea to you guys that I know what I'm saying is not perfect right now. Not that it ever is, but yeah, that's all for now again. Probably not, but hopefully it is. Oh, she sighs every time I do this, but like, it's important to me. Like, I think I'm a thought hoarder because a lot of times I do these and it's out of fear that I'm going to forget an insight that I had. So yeah, anyways, these kids just rode by us on bikes, and they had little walkie-talkies clipped on their shirts, and with that like childhood theme I was just talking about, like that seems to be painting the day. So yeah, anyways, they rode by, and it's like the walkie-talkie like on bikes. I can imagine doing that as a kid, and I would have been having so much fun. And I don't know, like, we kind of all have walkie-talkies because we carry our phones with us wherever we go, but it's different when you have a walkie-talkie because of the feeling of like tuning into a certain radio, or that one time that you accidentally tap into like the police one and you're like, oh my gosh, we're like the CIA, the MK Ultra, whatever. That's because Cho was talking about that because she was watching some conspiracy show about it. But I don't watch that. I don't engage with conspiracy content. That is content. I don't make content. I don't care what the YouTube channel calls it. It's not content. It's contemplated thought. So yeah, I just wanted to say that about walkie-talkies. Maybe I should start carrying a walkie-talkie. You think?
You should start hearing whatever Louis Lit has.
Louis Lit? Oh, she thinks that I look... You better not be saying I look like Louis Lit. Because I... Okay.
No comment.
Actually, no, I don't. That's it. I take that back. I'm not going to delete this video, but I do take that back. I apologize. Because I'm not going to delete it because that was... Yeah, anyways.
But you don't want to... No girl wants to...
Yeah, that is true. Actually, I don't take it back because he is a man. So, anyways, that's all for now. My comment on walkie-talkies: do with that with what you will. What?
Yeah, do that.
I don't know what you're gonna do with that, but she's just insulting me right now, and I'm just gonna take it on the chin. Anyways, that's all. Here's a tip when you're walking. Sorry, one thing, because I'm watching her break her back. When you're walking up a hill, you put your weight into your heels and then you push off, like you're pushing off from the step. It's good for your bones. I think it probably stimulates bone growth, because for like osteopenia, which is on the rise, more women die of a hip fracture than they do of breast cancer. And that is true. Take that to the bank. So it's important how you walk with intention, like everything. Anyways, so when you have that like shaker machine you see at the gym, and you stimulate your bones in such a way that you can plate. Yeah, the vibration plate. You can also get like a clip-on thing, but anyways, it's to spur bone marrow, I think. But it helps mitigate osteopenia, which is the precursor to osteoporosis, which is something that you really don't want if you don't want to break a hip just randomly, because it's like you break a hip and then you fall. You don't fall and break a hip necessarily. So I wanted to make that point about correct walking procedures, strategy, I don't know. But yeah, anyways, I learned that from my mountain hiking, that you put your weight into your heel and you let your shoe and your foot do the work, because your foot's designed in such a way that helps you when you're propelling yourself up an incline. Anyways, it also reduces the strain on your calf, I guess, I don't know, but keep that in mind if you're walking up a hill. Okay, that's all for now. Yeah. Something just happened that ruined my mood, but I'm gonna move on from it. I'm making potato soup, and I wanted to say this is funny to me. So I'm making a blended mirepoix, which is I'm doing carrot, onion, celery roasted as the base of the soup, but I blended it because I want to blend the base of the soup because I want to keep the potatoes chunky, and I called it a Grinch smoothie because it's carrot, onion, celery. I offered Cho a portion of the smoothie. Haha, Grinch. It's probably more fitting for me. And then I also wanted to make a point about the remembering versus living self, which is a psychological point that I've made in a previous video. But I was telling my mom something that happened to me yesterday that I was like, my living self, I was just unhappy to be in that moment, but I was laughing for my remembering self because I knew that when I looked back on it, it's funny, but when I'm living it in the moment, it is not funny. And there's a lot of things in life that I think are like that, but I wanted to put that out there. Just as a note, I don't really have much to expand on. I'm just saying that this particular experience, I was thinking, I was not, like, if I had just known about my living self, I would have been fully unhappy and like, why is this happening to me? But because I knew about the remembering self kind of thing, and I was like, you know what, when I look back on this will be funny in like 10 minutes. It made me laugh like during the moment, and it brought joy to me when I needed it. it was not an unhappy situation. It was very uncomfortable. But yeah, I want to say that I'm going to keep making the soup. But I have more to say. Today's videos are scatterbrained, as seemingly a lot of these videos are. But that's all for now. Okay, so as you can see right here, my potato soup. So I don't really like to cook with recipes. I like to cook with my smells, and like, because it's kind of my philosophy, like cooking on context, like smelling, seeing what's fresh. And it makes me feel like ratatouille right now with the way this is boiling. Hold on, because it's like in that scene where he fixes the soup. And actually we got this in Disney. It's a ratatouille spoon. And I was stirring it with a wooden spoon, and I feel like him because I'm like, what does the soup need? And like literally in that scene, that's what I was doing. So there's that. I wanted to tell Cho on camera, not that I need reassurance, or not that I need confirmation that I do this, but when she sits with me when I make dinner, it goes such a long way, because I show my appreciation through spending time with others, and I really appreciate it when Cho sits with me. So I wanted to say that. And then I had other things to say too. That's all for now. I just wanted to say the ratatouille comment, appreciation for Cho. The soup, I did a base, I told you, a blended mirepoix, and then I added potato with, it's a white bean and turkey bacon potato soup with bay leaf, salt, pepper, garlic. Just a classic soup, and I'm trying to go with that like minimal spicing, because normally I would throw in a bunch of herbs and spices, but I didn't. Hi, Bagu. And yeah, yeah. So I'm again holding myself accountable for spices, and I actually think that it makes, when you separate different ingredients and you let them shine for themselves, I think it actually makes them taste better anyways, instead of muddling it with different spices, or muddling like the sandwich with 8 different condiments and 9 different toppings and whatever. It's kind of just like, no, appreciate what you have. And yeah, so yeah. Also, this is connected sort of, but like Aristotle says everything comes from the senses. He starts the metaphysics with saying that like all men want to know, and then he goes into how all knowledge, his account of knowledge, is from like everything we've ever known and will ever know is from our 5 senses. So yeah, I want to say that. Please make sure the bowls match. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, that's all for now. Talk to Mom. So Bagu actually just said I was like the cook in Nanny McPhee, and I think that about myself, where I'm like, those rotten kids, potato peeling, and then she's like this, because she was in the, whatever it's called, in Britain. But Bagu just said that. She said that that when she walked into the kitchen, she thought that I was like the cook in Nanny McPhee, and I wanted to say that because that makes me sort of happy, even though she's like, get this down your gullet, and none of the kids are happy about it because they just had the medicine. You know that part in the movie where they have the medicine because they fake being bad, and then she keeps them. Po's been working on her bleaching.
Kind of bleached.
So she's doing that as well. So multiple balls in the air, and I can juggle, by the way. I haven't said that on here. I can juggle, metaphorically and physically. Okay, that's probably not all, but it's all for now. Okay, bye-bye. Another point that I just learned, I learned things as well from my friends, my Po and my Bagu. I have more friends than that, I promise. Anyways, I learned from Po today, and I think I did know this, but I was reminded of it the other day when I said mode means fashion in German. It also means fashion in French. And Cho reminded me of that fact today. So thank you to my Po for reminding me of that. And I think, although it seems like I do a lot of talking and speaking and outward thinking, I do a lot of inward thinking also. And I learn from those around me, and that's important because that's how you improve. And actually, that's another thing that I'm trying to work on, is I'm not really sure how to engage with philosophy like authentically, which I think is in the Elenchus, in the in the Elenchus, in the question, and like in the dialogue and the question and answer, and like kind of Socratic method that Plato establishes in his dialogues. I'm not really sure how to do that outside the context of a college campus, because it's like, who do you engage with on a regular basis about difficult material, who like care. Like, so you can do that on Reddit and stuff, and I'm sure there are Google Meet things, but I like speaking in person. Although this medium is not in person, this is functioning for me to like preserve my thought in a sense, but it also lets it live for itself because I'm able to talk out my opinions and, you know, kind of correct in a sense because I can re-record a video, or I can just say like update on that thought. But anyways, yeah, I'm not really sure how to engage with new philosophy, and in a sense, when I say new philosophy, I mean new to me. So if anyone has thoughts on that or suggestions or forums or something I should check out, I'm willing and would be appreciative to learn from something that you guys have to offer. So yeah, that's all for now. No, hold on. Just give me a second. I'm full of disjointed thoughts as usual, but one point that I was doing is I was just telling my mother that I don't like the immersion blender for soup because it kind of messes with the texture, and that's why I prefer the potato masher. And she was like, that's an old tool, like her grandma used it. And not to call her grandma old, but it's there are basically tools that have been improve upon the potato masher. But I think that sometimes some of the tools can't be improved upon because they're just good as they are. And it's sometimes hard to know when to stop, when to be satisfied with what you have. And that goes with kind of the theme I was saying about in my videos today, where it's hard to know sometimes when to be satisfied with what you have versus when improvement is necessary. And I think you kind of get a sense by like crossing a line and then you retreat and you reassess, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, actually this did work out. So sometimes crossing a line I think is good, but it is hard to know when to go to the line, when to cross it, and when to not, because there are certain lines that you can cross that you can't really go back on. And although I can't think of an example of that right now, well, actually in medicine, like things like chemotherapy, you can cross the line, go too much, and then you kill the patient. So that's a line you can't go back. And it's like, how do you know when to have restraint versus when you want to take your chances? And to think all that came from the discussion about a potato masher versus an immersion blender for soup is interesting. Okay, that's all for now. I need to get something else to say at the end. I keep saying that. Sorry. Not sorry. Thank you for your patience. Another thing with letting the ingredients shine, we have tomatoes that I want them to have in their salad, but kind of like in Italy with the pewter bowl and peaches in the Chris Bianco Chef's Table episode, I let the tomato shine for itself, and they can season it as they choose and slice it as they choose. Because I get really stressed when produce gets wasted because there's so much energy that goes into it, specifically produce, because it's like you do buy it, so you don't want to waste money, but it's also like the farmer's energy, the energy of the actual fruit, energy from the sun, like the study of photosynthesis and changing into a flower and, you know, whatever. And it's like, you might be like, oh, that's so like anal to say things like that, but it's like, there really is a lot of energy that goes into produce, and it's bad when they're wasted. So when I saw those wrinkly tomatoes, I was like, they have to be used. I need to breathe, and the dog is loud. Anyways, fresh tomato, I enjoy seeing them have their unprocessed, because another thing, I was telling Cho this today, processing is any form of changing the food before we consume it. So even just slicing a tomato is a form of processing. Ultra processing is something like Kraft mac and cheese, or something like that, where it's like it's not even intelligible what exactly the ingredients are. But so the tomato itself, the whole tomato, is unprocessed, but when it's sliced, it's processed. So I let them do their own processing. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Update, they said they like the soup. She likes the soup. You know, from Ratatouille. Yeah, but Goo got my reference. Okay, sorry, Mother, you can keep talking.
I'll let you read the text.
Today is one of those days where I feel like I'm not satisfied with what I'm doing, and I feel like restless and like I don't know. But I'm going to eat my oatmeal in peace, and then I have a couple things to say that I wanted to say yesterday, and I'm going to say that and then be done. I'm recording this because I always go up and down. Like, I get stressed over things that aren't even that stressful, and it's like you feel like the world is like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just like, yeah. I can't even articulate what I'm trying to say, but it's not a good feeling. It's like, you should be doing something and you're not, and you're doing something else but that's why I'm holding myself. I've said this so many times today, but I'm holding myself accountable by recording this, because if I watch it back, then it's kind of like, it's like ups and downs. It's like, okay, yes, I was stressed then, but I was able to come back to homeostasis, and that's something that I think humans do a lot, is we come back to homeostasis at some point. So that's a reminder to me that I will calm down and to focus on what I'm doing right now, and that's what I can do. So I record this, like I said, to help myself, but also to help others. And in the behind the scenes kind of cake idea that I started this whole thing with. So yeah, that was actually an episode 2. So yeah. Okay, that's all for now. Okay. These are just a couple of concluding thoughts that I wanted to add. So last night when I was on a walk, I was looking at the fireflies because I love seeing summer fireflies. And I was thinking that it's so cool how when you see like phenomena of nature, so like when you see fireflies, when you see like little rocks in like the hillside, like when I was with my mom in Iceland, we saw like little rocks on these hills, and they have like the myths of trolls, and in like areas like Wales and Scotland and whatever, they have like the myth, in Ireland I think it's Scotland has wisps, like the myth of the wisps. And then I got that from Brave 2012 because I think it's like the Celtic times. But anyway, so like we have like fairies and explanations for things that we don't fully understand, or it's like earthquakes in ancient, was it Greece, was said to be the bull in the labyrinth under the ground. And it's cool how like even today we see the same phenomena that our ancestors saw like hundreds of years ago, but now we have scientific explanations for it. But it's like the stories that we would tell that are passed down through our heritage and shown still in our stories, like in things like Tinkerbell and things like that, are still clear, and we just have to kind of suspend the scientific knowledge to understand where the myths come from. And I think that was interesting, and I wanted to say that. And then the second thing is the Great British Baking Show, I think, is currently filming right now, their new season. And it's odd how sometimes I get comforted by the fact that I know other people are stressed about something because it's Sunday today. So I know that they were going to do the showstopper probably. And it's I guess it's kind of bad of me, not bad, but I guess it's bad that I'll just say bad because I don't have a better word right now, but that I feed off knowing other people are stressed, but I don't have that stress, and I'm happy that I don't have that stress, so therefore it reduces my own stress. So like I was watching the Great British Baking Show in consolation or in support, I'm not sure, in consolation, in support, I don't know, I'm not sure about the words, I know I said that twice, but yeah, to kind of like get in that zone that someone completely who is unknown to me is feeling right now. Like they're stressed about a showstopper I have no idea about, but I know that they're stressed, and I'm sending them good vibes regardless of, nevertheless, oh my gosh. I just need to breathe when I'm explaining things sometimes. I'm sending them good vibes, even though I have no idea who they are. I know that they exist, and therefore someone is receiving my good vibes. Hopefully they can feel it. They probably can't, but nevertheless, it's out there. So yeah, hearing that or thinking about other people in stressful situations that are not like life-threatening or something like that, but I find to be calming because I'm not in that situation, and therefore I'm grateful for where I am. That's what I'm trying to get to. When I hear about people's situations, it makes me more grateful for what I am in, and therefore I can show more appreciation for me. And that's kind of what I'm saying that's what I was saying about unity and opposition a couple days ago with Heraclitus, where it's like they're stressed and not stressed. Because I know someone's stressed, it makes me feel like it balances my not stress more. I don't know if that's exactly how I want to say it, but I do want to put that out there. And the beauty about these videos is that when I don't say something exactly how I want to say it, I can rewatch it and rephrase it in a different video. So please have patience with me. Thank you for it, if you have it. And yeah, if you do have patience with me to watch these videos. So yeah, if I have, today, I know I've again said it so many times, I'm just feeling one of those really stressed, discombobulated days, and I'm not fully satisfied with what I put out again today. But I said that on the walk with the bug, I think that was episode 7, and then I was more satisfied with episode 8. So it's like the normal ebb and flow of life. Also, when I spend more time, I was saying this on the walk, but I wanted to better articulate it when I was by myself. When I'm spending time with myself, my thoughts, it's almost like they are able, it's like a good soup. Like they're able to cook at a slow and low temperature. Oh, and by the way, I sounded like Willy Wonka just then, where it's like, and by the way, no other factory in the world mixes their chocolate by waterfall, and you can take that to the bank. He says that in the movie. And then he says it a couple other times, and then Violet Beauregard's like, you already said that. And he's like, you're also short. And then Mike TV's like, you were too, or we're children. No, that's Violet Beauregard. And then he's like, well, I was never that short. And he goes, yes, you were at sometimes or something. He's like, no, I distinctly remember I put a hat on the top of my head. Your little arms probably can't even reach at the top of your head or something like that. But anyways, a lot of cultures have certain types of foods because of the heat and the fuel that they have access to. So like in Indian culture, the temperature of the food is low and slow, and it's cooked for like 48 hours because they burn cow dung as a fuel for their food. And that's also a reason why cow is sacred, in addition to other reasons. But yeah, that's why they don't eat beef. But anyways, what I was saying is when I'm by myself, it's almost like the thoughts can reduce and they can simmer at a low boiling point or a low heating point, and then I can better articulate what I'm trying to say. And it's like they're better developed, almost like it's like a longer proving process for like bread or like a soup or a curry, like what I'm saying. But when I'm with other people and surrounded by other people, it's like you're introducing more things to your microbiome, and therefore more things are flourishing that wouldn't necessarily be fed if I were just sitting by myself. So it's kind of like you have to give and take. You have to either have better articulated thoughts like I'm able to express right now because I'm sitting by myself and I'm thinking through my thoughts and I have silence, versus more, I said the word revolutionary or exotic or something, but it's more like like the standard deviation of thought broadens as I spend more time and introduce more things to my different environment. But because I'm in a different environment, I'm not able to articulate them as well. So it's kind of like I have to collect the ideas out there, record it, be okay with not being satisfied with what I'm talking about, and then come back where the ideas have kind of percolated more in my head, and then I can better express myself as I'm doing right now. So that's, again, the thing with patience. I have to have patience for myself, but hopefully what I'm trying to convey is that when you guys see me struggle with something, it might give you the courage to have grace for yourself as well. Because oftentimes I find that I can have grace for other people, but I don't have it for myself, and that's confusing, but it makes sense because we all do that, it seems. But I don't know why, because it's like, why would you do that to yourself if you wouldn't do that to others? And that's a question that I still don't know. So if anyone has thoughts on that, please share. So as I talk these thoughts out, I calm down because I'm more satisfied with what I'm saying. And it's like the constipation of thought idea that I was also talking about on episode 7. It's almost like relieving. It's like, I guess, gas X for your mind. That's kind of gross. Sorry to end with that, but not sorry. Thank you for allowing me to end with that, even though I would do it anyways if you didn't allow it. How would you tell me you don't allow it? I guess by not watching, but yeah. Anyways, that's all for now. I'm going to put the video together. Be happy with what I said. If I think of more thoughts, It's not the end. That's what I'm also trying to tell myself, because sometimes I feel rushed and I talk quickly because I feel like I'm running out of time, and then I'm confused because it's like, no, I'm holding my phone myself. I can always pick it up again, and there's tomorrow. Sun will come out tomorrow, Annie. She has lots of wise aphorisms that she shares. Maybe because she's an orphan, she's appreciative for the little things, and not even the little things. She's just noticing the little things because she's not bogged down in material goods. I don't know, maybe there's something to the Buddhist idea of, you know, desevering our connection from the material world. But then again, air conditioning and being inside a house is nice too. So, not saying they don't have that. That's like Mahayana Buddhism is the practical one, and Theravada Buddhism is the non-practical one, where like all the monks exited society and then the society almost collapsed because there was no one farming because everyone was at the temple. Yeah. Okay. I've had a lot of thoughts today, so thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. That's all for now. Bye-bye.